The familiar intro is shown. A large stone triangle with a circle in the center in front of a stone background, with 4 smaller triangles underneath it. And under them was the name Straw Food. There were a few smiles at the familiar intro. Man, it's been a while since we saw any of Straw Food's videos. The way he does things is so much more chill and relaxed than Sigh or Rage. Yang said, right? I mean, they're fun and all, but sometimes it's nice to just slow it down and just calmly and peacefully observe. It's almost like watching a real documentary. Emerald said with a smile. So, boring you mean? Neo said with a fake yawn. Feel free to take a nap. Then we might get a few moments of peace. Emerald jabbed. Moving on, Weiss interrupted, before letting out a sigh of content. I also quite like the intro. His logo is so detailed, even carved in stone. And the music is absolutely beautiful. It puts you at a sense of ease. Weiss said, her eyes closed peacefully as she enjoyed the music. A hunter then made his way through a dense forest into a large clearing, accompanied by calming music. Unchanged for millions of years, the ancient forest keeps many secrets. Early reports by the explorers of the First Fleet hinted at strange monsters, never before seen in the Old World. We now know these reports to be true. Strawfoot explained as he made his way further into the forest. My name is Strawfoot, and this is the Great Jagras. The host introduced himself, before showing a drawing of a large, yellow iguana-like creature with an impressive mane of dreadlocks, showing it beside a hunter for scale, one of its footprints and different angles of it, some with its stomach noticeably bloated. Oh, hey. I remember him. We've seen him in a few videos before. Ruby said, yeah, I remember him from the Anjanath video, getting treated like a chew toy. Yikes. Nora said with a wince, it almost reminds me of an iguana, just much larger. And yellow, although I think it works for him. Winter noted, admiring the creature. Never thought I'd see an iguana with dreadlocks. But hey, he makes it work. Crow said, nodding in approval. Yeah, gives him kind of a stoner look. Bet he'd be fun at parties. Coco said, pinching her fingers together, close to her mouth, doing a couple of sharp inhales. Coco. Both Glinda and Velvet scolded her. Strawfoot was now standing right before one of these monsters, closely observing it. Classified by the Hunters Guild as a fanged wyvern, this brightly colored creature is a common sight here in the ancient forest. Stalking its prey through the tall grass, the Great Jagras moves in for the kill. A hunting strategy its species has perfected over millions of years. The Bogan user said as the Jagras suddenly rushed forward into the clearing ahead. The Jagras' wickedly serrated fangs sink deep into the unsuspecting Aptonoth's thick, scaly hide. The Jagras' fangs are curved backwards. For the Aptonoth, this means that escape from the jaws of this predator will be nearly impossible. The host declared as the Jagras charged up to an Aptonoth and quickly took it down with a single bite. A single bite. Impressive. Hazel said with an approving nod. Indeed. And it's quite a bit faster than its somewhat broad size would suggest. Those Aptonoth didn't even have time to react. Adam noted, to be fair, the Aptonoth don't seem to be the most observant of species. Penny pointed out, they were also grazing. Any skilled hunter will tell you the best time to strike is when your target is preoccupied going after their own target. One could even catch a bird if you strike, as it goes for a fish. Ashvin informed the group. 1. Suddenly, the Great Jagras shockingly began to eat its prey whole, despite its massive size. The powerful muscles in the Great Jagras' jaw and throat worked quickly to pull the Jagras' prey towards its immense stomach. Movable joints in the Jagras' jaw form what is known as an intramandibular hinge, allowing it to swallow large prey like this Aptonoth whole. Strawfoot explained as the Jagras now retreated back into the dense forest. Holy crap. It swallowed that Aptonoth whole. John said in shock. It's like Nora with pancakes. Run said in horror. But how is that even possible? That Aptonoth is practically the same size as the Jagras. That'd be like eating a sandwich that's stacked up as tall as your shoulders. Ilias said in disbelief. It's actually not uncommon for creatures to eat things the same size as them, such as the gulpa eel or other species of deep-sea fish. Blake informed her girlfriend. Excellent point, Miss Belladonna. And quite a few reptiles are known to do it as well, such as a number of pythons and boa constrictors. So, it's clearly within the realm of possibility for this Jagras creature. Glinda added. I don't like that, Velvet said, quite disturbed by the act. Oh, come on, Velvet. I know it's a little morbid, but you have to admit, it kind of looks cute with its belly so pudgy. Kira giggled. Swelling up like that honestly makes it worse, if you ask me. Weiss said squeamishly. I feel bad for the Aptonaut, but Jagras looks so cute with its belly all swollen like that. It almost reminds me of Dodagama. RWBY cooed. The host continued to follow the beast through the forest into an underground cavern. These strange adaptations allow the Jagras to consume up to 75% of its body weight in a single meal. Bloated and heavy with the weight of its kill, the great Jagras skulks back to its burrow to care for its young and to rest. Young Jagras feed primarily on the regurgitated leftovers of their elders, although they have been known to supplement this diet with small prey such as insects, tree lizards, and even small birds. The bald hunter informed as, indeed, the great Jagras vomited up a large chunk of meat the smaller Jagras quickly flocked to and began to consume. Ugh. I'd definitely be sticking to the lizards and birds. Who wants to eat something your mother just puked up? Roman said in disgust. Sometimes that's the only way some baby animals can get food. You can't be picky out in the wild. Summer told him. Exactly. They don't have five-star restaurants in nature, Roman. Cinder taunted the former crime lord. Indeed. Even citizens living in villages outside of the kingdom have to take whatever chances for a meal they can get. Even hunting old, sick animals whose meat is undoubtedly tougher and might contain bacteria that must be thoroughly cooked out. Ironwood added, the Jagras were once again seen feeding on a chunk of flesh on the surface. These young Jagras are not picky eaters, a habit they will carry with them into adulthood, should they survive that long. An adult great Jagras will eat almost any kind of meat, scavenging for carcasses or stalking animals that range in size from small pestodons to large bull aptonauts. Strawfoot explained as he donned a ghillie mantle to hide from the small monsters, which then followed their elder back to the burrow. Ugh. I know we just said you can't be picky in the wild, but is scavenging a carcass even worth it? First off, you have to deal with the germs whoever made the kill left. Second, there's probably hardly anything left on the body to eat. Weiss said. Well, Weiss, most carrion eaters have extremely strong stomach acids that allow them to digest bones and yield nutrients from them. For instance, vultures, the most infamous example of carrion eaters, have bones making up 70 to 90% of their diet. It's why animals like them are considered nature's cleanup crew. And they play a vital role by getting rid of carcasses with decaying bones and rotting flesh, preventing their harmful bacteria from spreading to the rest of the ecosystem. Penny explained. Wow. Note to self, if I'm ever in Bakuo and see some vultures flying around, be sure to give them a thumbs up. John said. The Bogan user now observed the iguana-like creature as it slept. Their bellies full, the young Jagras circle their sleeping elder in a sort of appeasement ritual. Tails rigid and snouts held high, they dance nimbly around the feeding pit, a clear sign of gratitude. The host narrated mirthfully as, like he said, the smaller Jagras began to do some form of dance-like ritual. A few of them felt rather queasy seeing the feeding pit. Well, for the cleanup crew, they sure do leave their feeding pit pretty messy. Neo said, gagging a bit. So many bones, and they're dancing around it. It's like something right out of my nightmares. Velvet said, shivering in terror. Easy, Bun Bun. I got you. It's not really there. It can't hurt you. Coco assured, running her hand through Velvet's hair, petting her rabbit ears. Oh, God. I don't even want to imagine the smell. Weiss groaned, covering her mouth and nose as if she were actually there and could breathe in the stench. Once again, the bald hunter followed the beast through the forest. The great Jagras swaying, undulating walk may appear comical to some. However, It does serve a purpose. This wyvern hunts primarily through smell. By swinging its head from side to side as it walks, the Jagras can smell the direction of potential food sources. Strawfoot informed as he took note of the beast's swaying motion as it walked. This feat is accomplished using specialized receptors on the roof of its mouth, which act as a sort of chemical analyzer, allowing the Jagras to hone in on the location of prey over vast distances. The bogan user added as the fanged wyvern stopped and sniffed around, before catching a scent and stalking off in that direction.
Oh.
So, it's like Blake with fish. Yang said with a smirk. Blake rolled her eyes at this. If you mean I'm good at detecting vital and delicious nutrition, thank you, she said proudly. Wouldn't it make more sense to stop and sniff around? Nora asked.
No.
This way, they can smell as they move around, so they're not wasting time constantly stopping to catch a whiff of prey. Winter explained. Strawfoot continued to follow the creature as it searched for prey. The great Jagras has relatively poor vision compared to other wyverns. Its eyes are better adapted to picking up movement than discerning stationary objects. The sharp claws of the great Jagras serve a dual purpose. They are useful for both tearing into prey and burrowing into the soft soil of the ancient forest, creating the underground caverns and burrows in which it makes its nest. The bald hunter said as the beast no longer seemed interested in—
Whoa.
It actually dug those tunnels? Not bad.
Crow said.
Crow, how do you think animals wind up with burrows and such to live in? Glinda asked. I just assumed they got lucky and found a hole in the ground big enough for them. The former drunk explained, causing the rest of the Illuminati to face-bomb. This was my girl's best role model growing up. Summer lamented. The great Jagras suddenly began to sniff around, detecting a threat. Once a nesting ground has been chosen, the Jagras won't stray far from the safety of its underground den. As we will soon see, there are predators far more fearsome than the great Jagras in the ancient forest. The host said ominously as the giant iguana creature began to roar at something. Leaving the den in search of prey, this Jagras instead finds itself on the menu. An Anjanath attacks. The great Jagras is no match for the bite of this highly territorial brute wyvern. Strawfoot said as an Anjanath stomped onto the scene and mercilessly attacked the Jagras. Many winced at the Anjanatha's brutality. Poor Jagras. Can't it just finish it off quickly with a bite to the head? It seems like it's dragging the attack out on purpose to be cruel.
Kira said.
Well, it may be much stronger, but Jagras is still large and it's squirming and thrashing around frantically. It's certainly not making it easy for it, Ren pointed out. It knows that if it doesn't fight with all it's got, it's getting eaten anyway. It's literally fighting for its life. Sometimes, even the most peaceful animals can fight like nobody's business when their life's on the line. Heck, I've even seen a sloth take a couple swipes with its claws at an inexperienced harpy eagle trying to take it down. Emerald said, "Yeah, I knew sloths could be awesome." Nora cheered. An image of the territory of Astra was then shown. In the New World city of Astra, the Jagras is prized by hunters for its thick hide and sinuous mane, which is often used in the crafting of armor. The bogan user explained, showing an image of the male and female armors together. Likewise, the Jagras' heavy bones are commonly used in the construction of housing and tools, and its meat is a valuable food source when properly prepared. The bald hunter informed as he once again followed the beast through the forest. Quite impressive just how many uses they've found for the monster's materials. Ashbin praised. Agreed. I can understand using its hide for armor and meat for food, but I never would have thought of using its bones for tools. Ironwood admitted. Not all that different than using their parts for weapons. Based on weight, bone is stronger than steel, after all. Razara said, holding up a great sword that, despite having a number of Tigrex materials on it, was still clearly mostly bone. Ooh, another new business idea. Torchwick Jagras bone tools. The price and quality will tickle your ribs. Roman pitched his idea. You might want to take that one back to the drawing board. Cinder told him with a roll of her eyes. Meanwhile, Coco whistled at the design of the armor. Not bad. I'm liking the color. Black and yellow is a strong pair. It's why I was banking on those two getting together before we came here," she said, pointing with her thumb to Blake and Yang, who now blushed and avoided looking at each other, while their respective girlfriends glared at their girlfriend's partner. "Plus, I like their use of its mane. Gives the shoulders and the hems of the boots a nice furry look, without actually being fur, which can get itchy sometimes," she added. The Jagras took down and devoured an Aptonoth once again. Hunters in the New World have been known to successfully lure a great Jagras from its den with carefully placed cuts of raw meat. However, hunting a great Jagras can be dangerous work. After eating, a great Jagras can use the additional weight of its expanded stomach to crush unsuspecting hunters in a rolling attack. By targeting attacks against the Jagra's swollen stomach, a clever hunter can force the wyvern to vomit out its prey, significantly weakening it. When training new warriors, the Hunters Guild often recommends younger, inexperienced hunters first test their mettle against monsters classified by the guild as trainer, or sensei monsters, a classification the Jagras shares with old world monsters such as Arzuros, Jagi, Velocidrome, and Bulldrome. Strawfoot explained as an image showed great Jagras alongside the familiar bear beast and an unknown raptor-like monster and larger version of the familiar Bullfango. What kind of sick, disgusting tactic is that? Why would anyone want to make a monster vomit up its meal? That is just beyond abhorrent, not to mention unsanitary. Weiss screamed in a fit of rage and mostly disgust. "I think I'm about to vomit," Ilias said, turning green, and not voluntarily. "I mean, better than letting it slam its giant belly down on you," Yang said. "Just stay out from in front of it, then you won't get puked on. That's simple," Emerald added. The Bogan user now struggled slightly to keep up with the retreating great Jagras. For a team of novice hunters with the appropriate weapons and armor, a typical great Jagras should pose no serious threat. That said, the New World is a strange and mysterious place, and many monsters here react in dangerous and unpredictable ways when exposed to the radiant energies emanating from the Everstream. The Hunters Guild Research Division has recently confirmed the existence of several extremely large and powerful Jagras prowling the ancient forest. The bald hunter noted as a Deviljo approached a Jagras that almost matched the World Eater in size. Many jaws hit the floor upon seeing this giant Jagras. "Holy crap! How did it get so huge?" John cried out in fear. "It's as big as the Deviljo. How is that even possible?" Ruby cried out in fear. "Well, now things really just got interesting," Hazel said. "Indeed. I'm curious just how much more powerful this enhanced size has made it." Adam agreed, along with many of the other thrill seekers. The massive Jagras let out a roar that actually made the Deviljo flinch before sauntering off. It is theorized that these wyverns may have accidentally ingested glowing phase stones from the Everstream. A word of caution, these mutated giant Jagras are extremely dangerous and should only be engaged by the most experienced of hunters. Please report all sightings of abnormally sized monsters in hunting grounds to the Hunters Guild so that appropriate action may be taken and the safety of our brave hunters ensured. Strawfoot warned as he chased after the oversized monster. "That couldn't happen if they come to Remnant, right?" Kira asked in concern. "Unlikely. Your world doesn't have streams overflowing with bioenergy like the Everstream," Katana assured them. "Still, it can't be that bad, right? It's still just a low-level monster, just bigger, right?" Velvet asked nervously. "Even the two of us would have trouble handling one of these on our own. You all would need a full team to avoid being brought home in body casts," Razara said. "But on the plus side, they have huge amounts of special gems made out of bioenergy in the meat in their stomachs, so when they vomited at you, if you avoid taking insane damage from projectile vomited meat chunks, you can gather those gems, clean them, and add them to special slots in your armor to give you the properties of the bioenergy of those gems, like enhanced strength or defense," Teko explained. "Well, that's interesting," Winter said. "If by interesting, you mean disgusting," Neo said. "Hey, she just said they can make you stronger. They sound like buffs or skills from a video game. I'd be willing to deal with how gross it is for something like that," Nora said excitedly. So, how is it?
Katana would ask.
They are amazing. I love them. Their yellow color is incredible. Their dreadlocks look so stylish and cool. And their swelly bellies are absolutely adorable. Winter exclaimed excitedly, breaking out into baby talk like Weiss does for RWBY on her last point. Yeah, they're really cool. They're pretty much giant iguanas, and iguanas are already super cool and awesome pets. It is a little gross that they puke up food, but I can ignore that. RWBY does that all the time if he eats too much grass. RWBY said, almost as excited as Winter. 2. Well, it might be a bit disturbing, but I think it's sweet that they care for their young in such a manner and are constantly on the hunt for food for them. Pyrrha stated. And, again, it would be nice to see nature have something to clean up the dead bodies of animals that get in a fight with and get killed by Grimm. Emerald added. 3. I'm still honestly fascinated with how many uses you've found for the creature. Quite amazing what you come up with if you put your mind to it. Ironwood praised again. You're not thinking of hunting large numbers of them for materials, are you, sir? Winter asked dangerously. And no, of course not, Schnee. The general quickly and fearfully assured her. I just didn't have much else to think about them, which is a good thing, because it means I don't believe we need to be greatly concerned about them. I honestly wish a lot more monsters failed to leave me with a sense of dread, apart from that giant version, but Katana assured us we wouldn't wind up with those on Remnant. He elaborated. I would hope we get these on Remnant, actually. They seem to be ideal monsters for beginner huntsmen and huntresses to deal with and introduce them to the new concept of fighting creatures so vastly different from the Grimm. Belinda said, well, then, you will be happy to know I will indeed be bringing them to Remnant. There's no reason not to, really. They aren't a big threat to anyone unless you attack them first, and like Glinda said, they're good starting monsters to learn a fight before you get to the big boys. The ice demoness explained. So, what's up next? John asked. Oh, this is gonna be a fun one. I hope you guys like fruits, because our next monster sure is. And it finds some pretty interesting ways to use those fruits. So get ready to see what Bishatin brings to the table. Katana said, playing the next video.